We are doing a very special project today that is actually outside of my house, and that is my old bedroom. This room needs a lot of help, and I'm doing it as a complete surprise to my parents. I have just a few days to make it over and show the final reveal to my parents, so let's see if I can pull this off. I can't believe we're doing this, you guys. We are in my childhood bedroom. This is going to be the first makeover that I've ever done outside of my house, so I thought it was very fitting to revisit this room. Currently, this room is basically a storage slash catch-all slash guest bedroom slash closet. And today we're going to completely make it over and turn it into a beautiful guest bedroom that my parents and their guests can actually use. And here's the deal, guys. We only have a couple of days to do it. This is going to be a complete surprise to my mom especially. She is actually in Vietnam right now with my brother, and in a couple of days we are going to be joining her over there. So I am leaving in literally 5 days, and I only have maybe 4 days to do this makeover. There is just so much to do, but I have faith that we can get it done. I have some ideas for this room, so I'm going to go over a little mood board with you guys, but before we do that, I'm going to give you an overview of my old bedroom and how it looks like right now. I wanted to start from the outside because this is what it looks like when you walk in. I've had this since I was a baby, and it's still above my bedroom even though I don't live here anymore. And then we have the pull-up bar. This has been here since we moved in, and every time I would leave the room I would do like a pull-up and then walk out the door. It was just something that I did all the time. I barely do it now because I am just too weak to, but let's go ahead and head into the bedroom. Here is a quick overview. Also, Mojo's hanging out on the bed over here. Mojo, look! So as you can tell, this is just a mismatch of random furniture pieces. Exhibit A, this is our old TV console that was in the living room. This is an old armchair that's from our living room. That is a random armchair that my sister found at the thrift store. It's really cute, so I might actually use it in this makeover. Sorry, am I bothering you? Are you trying to get an itch? Are you itchy? This is another one of those pieces that were left over in my previous place that has somehow ended up in here. And up top we have a ceiling fan that's been here since, I don't even know, maybe 15 years. That's a really long time. And then here's some stuff actually from my sister and then my brother, because my sister lived in here after I moved out. So yeah, lots of random things. There's just clothes, shoes, towels, more clothes, and even here is just decor that came with bedding sets that my mom bought in the past. And in this corner we have random things that don't belong to my parents, like this skull that is my sister's from when she was in school, these little dogs which I vaguely remember us getting, but I don't know why. This random Maggie from Universal Studios. I think this room definitely needs a makeover for sure. So just with any makeover, we have to clear out as much as we can because I do plan on organizing all of this stuff. And while we do that, I will also go over the mood board and kind of my plans for this space. All right, so I'm gonna come up with a mood board and a general game plan of what we're doing to the space. So my parents like a more simplistic room, so we're just gonna freshen it up with a creamy off-white color, and I also want to keep things pretty neutral. I did think about doing wall treatments like board and batten or maybe even picture frame molding, but since this is a surprise, I really did not want to make any super permanent changes. If they do want that in their house in the future, I am totally open to it. But one permanent change that I am going to make is switch out the ceiling fan. That thing is so old, so it's gotta go. And also the curtains, those gotta go too, so we're going to update those completely, and I'm thinking something that is matte black. I also want to work with the pieces that they do have because we're working with a pretty tight budget. I think I'm spending probably under $1,000 for the whole makeover. So we're going to add in a couple of new furniture pieces as well as a rug. I think that is really going to be important, especially since we have orange wood all over the floors. I really hate the color of the floors, but that's something that I can't change. So a rug will just have to do. And my biggest goal for this is really just to create a base for my parents to build upon. I want them to be able to put in their own personal touches and really choose items that they want to go into the room. I feel like right now there's just so much stuff in there, and it's stuff that they didn't really choose for it. So I'm hoping this really ignites some inspiration so that they can really make it their own. We of course are going to put in a couple of new decor pieces and also DIY some art for above the bed. So I'm excited to create something special for that area. And this room is going to be a multi-purpose space. So it is a guest bedroom right now, but I also want to turn it into a little bit of a wardrobe for my mom. She She is quite the fashionista. She has a ton of dresses and my parents like to go to parties all the time. So I want her to have a place just to get ready and also display some of her accessories. As you guys can see, she has a bunch of shoes. I definitely want to highlight that, and I think a lot of the clothing in there is going to bring in a lot of color into the otherwise neutral design. And this will also give them some additional storage, so I'm going to add in a big closet organizer, and that is basically the game plan for this room. I'm very excited to get started on this, so let's go make it happen. Okay. Memories all alone in the moonlight.
It's so weird being in here.
I know, right? We did have good memories in this room. Off to Vietnam.
Why does your family have a screw right here?
Also, my dad found his own DIY cable management. So yeah, the best way to manage your cables is by using 2 screws just like that, you guys. Can anyone relate? Looks like we need a new outlet. Also, there's a random screw here. And then this is the Wi-Fi box. So yeah, this needs to be sorted.
I think this chair would look nice in our house. What do you think?
Absolutely not. Okay, so we're about to get rid of this curtain rod, basically prep all the walls so that we can paint them, because there's lots of stuff like these nails and screws and things. Oh my god, that's a big hole. We'll take care of it though. Let's get started. Why was that here? These curtains have been up for such a long time and they never quite looked right since they don't hit the floor, and I think that adding in a more modern rod and also lengthening the curtains to the floor is going to make all the difference. I honestly never thought that I would get the opportunity to give back to my parents in this way. They both work so hard, so they don't always have the time to dedicate towards our family home. So I'm hoping that this makeover jumpstarts some new inspo on how they can reimagine each room to fit their needs. Okay, so we're back at home and I'm just taking a quick little break, and I'm also going to have lunch. My Daily Harvest box just got in, which is perfect because since we're leaving this week, we really did not buy that many groceries. These get delivered straight to my door and then I just pop them into the freezer so that they're ready whenever I need them. I was running low, so I'm glad that I have a whole new box to eat this week. Daily Harvest is a plant-based food company that makes it easy to form daily habits around sustainably sourced organic fruits and veggies. There is a lot to choose from, so if you're new to Daily Harvest, I would say to check out their flatbreads as well as their smoothies. For lunch, I'm making the portobello and pesto flatbread, which is so good. And for their smoothies, these ones are my favorite, the strawberry and peach as well as the mint and cacao. I am a smoothie lover and these are so easy to make, so I just fill it up with some almond milk and then I just dump the whole thing into my blender. These are super convenient and I feel like this year I've been keeping up with my good habits. One of my biggest goals is just to eat out less and also just eat more balanced meals, so I feel like last year I was doing a good job of that, and once January came I was really getting into a good routine. So now that we're into February, I'm hoping to keep this up. It definitely gets harder to stay on track once things get a little busy around here, so I'm glad that I have something in my fridge that is yummy and nutritious at all times. If you guys are interested and want to try out Daily Harvest for yourself, you can get $40 off of your first box with my code TINALAY at checkout. I'll have all the details below for you guys, and thank you again to Daily Harvest for sponsoring this video. Welcome to another day of the makeover. Today is painting day, and also we are changing out the ceiling fan. We are giving it a big update, so I have this one. It's the same one that is in my DIY studio. It is pretty affordable and I love the way that it looks. So this is gonna get up onto the ceiling today. And then we're also giving it a fresh coat of paint. So I basically got an off-white color. I know that this bedroom is already white and I am actually the one that painted it white like maybe 8 or 10 years ago. I really don't remember. But I do remember just going to Walmart and picking out just the most boring, basic white that you can find. It is a really stark white color, which was totally the vibe back in the day. I was going for a Tumblr minimalistic look. And I don't know if you can tell, but my dad likes to touch up the walls with just whatever white paint that he has. So there's a glossy sheen on some of the parts. So we are going to even everything out and make it look so fresh in here today. Do you guys see that? This is white and then another white. So many different whites going on. We're actually waiting for a TaskRabbit to help us with the ceiling fan. And while we do that, I'm just going to go ahead and sand everything down. RIP to the old ceiling fan. And say hello to the new ceiling fan. Oh my gosh, it opens up the room so much. This actually hangs up a little bit higher, so it really does heighten up the room. It feels so much more modern, and now the room actually feels larger, which is amazing. Now we can go ahead and paint. I'm gonna start cutting in, and then Brian is gonna roll the rest.
Aptitude. The first casualty.
Word of advice, guys. Don't lean against a wet wall, or else this happens. As I'm painting this, I could actually see the old layers that used to be in here. So when we first moved in here, I was like 7 years old, and it was hot pink and magenta. We had 2 hot pink walls and then 2 magenta walls. And then once I got into high school, I changed it to a honeydew green color that was super popular. And I could still see it in here somewhere along the trim over there. And it definitely brings me back, and I'm glad that I can just refresh it with a new coat of paint. Doing this project is really nostalgic, so I'm glad that I can paint it the same color that is actually in our primary bedroom. You're welcome, Mom and Dad. It is a new day in the room. It feels so fresh in here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is no longer a stark white. It is now a warm, inviting white color, and it just feels like a blank slate that I can work with now. Today, I'm really focusing on the layout of the whole room. I tried to plan this out on a room planner, and I honestly can't really tell you if this is all going to fit the way I want it to. So I'm just gonna bring in the headboard that I DIY'd a couple of weeks ago. We're gonna build a couple of new furniture pieces and see how everything is going to fit so that I can really make this come to life. Originally the bed was over here, so I'm gonna try it like this, but I wanted to have 2 nightstands on both sides. I really don't know if we can fit that in here, but we're gonna try. Here's where we're at right now. Ideally, I wanted the bed to go right here, so when you walk in, it's the first thing that you see. I will try that layout and see how it works, but first we're gonna build the nightstands for both sides just to see how this all flows. My parents are into more of a modern look, so I'm incorporating these side tables to bring in that element, and I also just wanted to add in a touch of web caning here. And this is super special to me because my dad actually used to weave rattan webbing back in the day as a job in Vietnam. He would get paid per sheet, and I never knew this about him until it came back into style a few years ago, and he told me, and I just thought it was so cool. After learning that, I've decided that I'm going to incorporate some caning in my home, and now I'm going to do it in their home, and I personally think it's such a timeless look. Looking back at where we started just a couple of days ago, it is amazing to see what a big difference a few changes make. I cannot wait to complete this room and show you guys, as well as my mom, the final reveal. looking so much better now, but there is still so much more to do. So make sure to tune in next week where I finish up the room, and we'll also be revealing it and getting my mom's reaction. And I'm so excited for her to see this. We're gonna build some furniture pieces, get a rug down here so that we can cover some of that orange wood, and we'll also be DIYing some artwork. So stay tuned, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe below so that you don't miss out on the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!